Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and today we're up with another KSCRAFT Let's Make This. And today we're going to be doing, and I've cut it all apart, the pocket which comes with bow, tabs, and you pull a card out. And when I say it comes with bow tabs, it's a shirt collar, buttons and suspenders are also included in this set, which means it can be used for Father's Day or masculine cards. So I think KSCRAFT has already done it as a Father's Day card, so I'm going to attempt to do something a little bit different and try and do a birthday card using it. So I think the paper that I'm going to be using today is going to be Samantha Walker. That's Snap Click Supply again, digital download, and it's called Big Top. So I'm going to run around and find some paper, do some cutting, come back and let's see if what I have in mind actually works. I'll be back in a minute. Right, so I've been away and done some die cutting, and first of all, because I'm going to be doing some gluing, this is my beautifully ink stained silicone matte. Now, as I've said before, certain pigments, when you put them onto clear silicone, they are permanent, so they tend to be yellows, pinks and sometimes red. So that's not going to come off, it's just embedded into the silicone, and if you see any fluff, get it off there before you start. Right then, so in that set you get a square panel and you also get a pocket piece. So I'm going to try and show you in the correct order. Right, this is what I've decided for my shirt. Now if I pick that up, it's a lovely vintage kind of candy stripes. You can see all the stains there, and that's all meant to be there on purpose. It's a little bit vintage, so that's going to be my shirt panel. Now the cards that pulls out from inside the pocket is going to be this piece, all from the same set again, lovely and vintage. And then I've cut another sheet of white cardstock that will make it more rigid, that I intend to glue onto the back. So those are those two panels. Now what you get is you get your suspender strips, straps, whatever you want to call them. And I'm picking all my bits up. You also get your shirt collars, and I'm going to show you how those go. I'll try and do it the right way around, because they are cut at an angle where you can see that they will fit your card. So if I put that there, hopefully you can see it, and I'll knock it back down straight. So you get two of those, and you've pretty much got to glue those where required. But before you put those down, you're going to need your shirt placket, I believe it's called, and that goes down at the bottom, and you have got a gap, but that doesn't matter because you get a bow tie. And my bow tie base is in black, and then my top, using this same paper again, is in a polka dot. So that's mine. And then you get little buttons which go onto your placket like that. So you'll dot those all down, and then you get your suspender pieces. Now if I move that up a bit, you get these. I haven't got a clue how suspenders work, but I believe that's the kind of open snap piece. So those will come a little bit, you know, more inside of your card. And then you get this piece, and you get this piece, which is the adjuster, and then you get these little pieces which glue onto those. So personally I'm going to glue those on, and I'm going to weave my strap inside of that little bit, but of course I need to glue that first. And then all of that goes onto the base. Now the base is your pocket piece, which is that one, and you can see it's scored and ready to fold. And then you'll cut another one which you will fold your pieces over. You can see that it's slightly smaller, but what you'll do is pop your tape all the way around the edge and stick it down onto there. And then because you've got that extra little bit of space, if I flip it over you can see that? You've got that extra space there. That means that this one will slide down inside. So let me do some gluing and I'll come right back. Right, so I've got most of my gluing out of the way and I've done my pocket. So that is the stripe that I'm having on the surface, and that is the back of the pocket once you've folded it and fixed it down. I just used a little bit of AliExpress double-sided tape. So that is my pocket. This is my insert card that will go inside of that pocket, and let's just make sure that fits. And yes, it does. And I've actually done that a double thickness so that when it's closed, essentially that's what it's going to look like. So you just need to make sure that everything fits before you go any further. Right, so I've done my little shirt placket and I've popped my 5 buttons on there. Aren't they sweet? You could use real buttons if you wanted to. So that's done. I've glued my little bow. There is a centre for the bow and I forgot to cut it out, so I may run off and do that in a second. So I've glued my bow. I put my 2 little slider pieces together. There are 2 of these, and I just want to show you how I'm going to do this before I run off and glue them. So I'm just going to go through there, slide them down to wherever it is that you want them, and then just pop a little bit of glue under that black section there. So I've shown you how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do both of them. I'll glue them and I'll come right back. Okay, so I've got my little I think they're adjusters, aren't they, on suspenders, whatever you want to call them. And first thing I'm going to put down is the little button area that goes down into the middle. So don't need a lot of glue because it's going to squidgy out. And we're going to pop this on, and you pop it on down at the bottom. So I'm basically eyeballing it. I'm lucky that I've got a stripe. If I've got it down straight onto my card, then my placket should be straight as well. I'm just having a look and moving it over. If I'm not totally accurate, you'll have to forgive me. And that will take a couple of minutes to dry. And then of course, oops, we've gone blurred. Either side of that we're going to put the suspenders, and you do the same thing again, only this time you're going to glue from the top of your panel piece. So I'm just wiggling a little bit of glue down here off camera, so you have to forgive me. Now I suppose the perfect cheat for this to get it accurate would be just to go onto the edge, but I don't really want to do that. So right, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking I'm going to track that stripe all the way down, and I'm going to go there. Yeah, I hope that's straight. And you can bet your sweet Bibby that I won't have a straight line to track on the next one. So I'm just squiggling my glue down again. Whoops. What are you all up to with your crafting? I don't think I ask that often enough, because we all like different things, don't we? I just like to watch all crafts, to be honest. I hope that that is even, and I hope that it's straight. Well, I'm going to commit myself and give it a good squish. Now, to finish off those gaps at the bottom, we've got our little suspender clips. So we're going to put glue onto the reverses of those. And they go down right at the bottom and try and get it in the centre, and hopefully my lighting will change in a minute and you'll get a clearer view, because there's lovely detail on this. It's kind of embossed in the middle. I just need to pick that one up, and then hopefully in the centre again. Right, I'm just going to hold those to dry and I'll be right back. Right, the next thing we want to do is glue down our little collar pieces. So I'm going to put mine there. Obviously I'm going to try and get them straight, and I'll come right back. Okay, so that is the little shirt collar, and while I was away I did cut the centre for my little bow. There you go. So I've got a centre in my little bow. Now here's a bit of something for you. This piece here, if you decided not to put the buttons on and you took that thinner strip off the top, this can actually be a tie, because all you have to do is either fold your bow in half or cut it in half, and if I do that, you'll see that would become the knot in your tie. Can you see that? Take that bit away and you've got a knot for your tie. So it could be a tie if you don't want a bow. Right, so we're going to stick this bow down, and then we get to the card that pulls out, which was the original idea for what I was doing here. So I just hope that, you know, it's going to work. So I'm going down with my little dicky bow. I hope it's straight. I'm just looking at it towards myself. Right, so that's the bow, and I'm going to let that dry, and hopefully you can see that those are pretty clownish colours, vintage clown I'm going to call it. So what I actually did, I'm moving that out of the way now so it dries, is my card that I made that pulls out of that pocket. I went away and I found a piece of free clown clip art on Google. I know not everybody likes clowns, but this is the one that I found, and I fussy cut it. So that was the idea behind using all of those colours. So I want to be able to put my clown down here, but I don't want to glue its entire face. I kind of only want to go so far and leave this bit loose. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by gluing it, and I'm just going to go around the edges, do my little spiky bits, and I'm going to decide my cut-off is, you know, around about there. That might not be perfectly straight, but I don't want to score it. I want it to be, you know, kind of natural. So you can see that that bit has no glue. Right, so now I'm going to pop my clown as close to my handle as possible, and I'm pressing it gently. I don't want to, you know, overcommit, because I want to bring it to my card and slide that in so that I know exactly where my little clown's head should be. So my bow is still damp, as you can see. I've got terrible humidity. So I'm just going to grab my clown and give it a little tug, and then smooth it. Put my bow back. I can see exactly where that should be. Right, let's let that dry and then we'll come back, because we'll be able to do it properly. Right, so let's hope that we're dry enough. Fingers crossed. And like I say, the whole idea behind this was that as it was revealed, this card, it would show you that you could pop your clown right there on that dicky bow. Now I'm going to stick that down again. Now I did glue that like 5 minutes ago, but you know, I know that it works. I'm going to straighten that up. My card, so that when you pull it up, I'm going to put it sideways, you've got a full clown. I absolutely love that. Yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of people do not like clowns, but imagine that if you were doing an Andy doll, you know, something retro, so that you've got your Raggedy Annie and Andy, and you could do them using this die with their little heads popping out. Or if you love mixed media, there's a great image of Marlena Dietrich, and she's wearing a tuxedo and a top hat. So, you know, you could use loads of vintage ephemera and create something like that, and you'd have Marlena's head popping up and maybe a separate little top hat or something to go with it, and that would look absolutely fabulous. But I just think that's great. I really do. So taking that off, popping it in. So the surprise for whoever gets it, and then squishing it down. Obviously you'd have to tell them how it's done, but isn't that great? I love that. Yay! Right, I am back with KSCRAFT again tomorrow. I hope you have an absolutely awesome day. I do thank you so much for joining me, and as usual, all links below. Bye.